Surprise! Welcome to the Beards edition of Insomniac Live. I am Ryan Schneider. I'm our Chief Brand Officer. Joining me today
Welcome to the
Josh
Beards
edition. Josh is a QA
Insomniac
superstar. And I am just to make it clear, I am the backup, maybe one more backup host. That's pretty low bar, but I'm going to do my best. Busy time here at the studio, as you can imagine. Super grateful for Josh for joining us today amidst the insanity, and that is my terrible pun for opening. We're going to play Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy today, courtesy of our friends at Naughty Dog. Super happy to have that opportunity. Josh is a very special guest today, also because today we are concluding our philanthropic efforts with St. Jude. Josh has a very inspiring story to tell about cancer survival and video games and how the two have gotten him through some really, really tough times. We couldn't think of a better way to really wrap up this past month of raising funds for such an important cause than to have Josh join us. And, Josh, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. Maybe you can just tell a little bit about yourself and how you joined us here at the studio. Maybe if you want to kick us off, jumping right into the game, we can do that.
How I got started here? How
you came to Insomniac, and sort of talk to us a little bit about your background in general from a games perspective.
Right. I've been doing QA for about a decade now. Yeah, a decade. Started in March of 2008, working for 2K Games while they were in Northridge. Worked there for a year.
What was your first game?
My first game was Don King Presents Prize Fighter.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that would have been out. Was this at like the height of the EA Fight Night series?
I think it was. I think we were trying to challenge with it.
That's a tough spot to be in because they were like,
yeah.
I remember we used to play Fight Night here. Dave Girton and I used to play at lunch all the time, and it was whichever Fight Night was the version where they had introduced using the corner time to like heal yourself, like as like kind of like a little mini game type thing.
Oh man, I'm not familiar with the series to know which entry that was. But yeah, we were. I'm pretty sure they were trying to compete with that. Getting Don King as a licensee for it was going to be a huge push for it and a huge marketing value. Game was fun. I felt sorry for all my friends that were on the Wii version of it because the training games are literally having to jump rope on the Wii balance boards. Those guys were getting tired all day long.
That's probably the fittest QA group in the land.
At the time, yeah. Now I would say that probably goes to Servios.
Yeah, good point. Yes.
Raw Data and Sprint Vector.
Definitely Sprint Vector.
I eventually worked for them.
Okay, cool.
I went from 2K Games to Neversoft, working on the Guitar Hero franchise.
Okay.
Worked on 2 entries, I believe. 3 entries. Guitar Hero 5, Band Hero, and Warriors of Rock. Mm-hmm. From there, I kicked around for a bit at a third-party localization company.
Okay.
GTL Media. Worked with a lot of big-name companies, this company included, on a few of your projects. From there, I went to Servios and worked on Raw Data. The first $1 million VR game?
I believe that is correct. And in fact, it's probably been discussed here in the past, but one of our former interns went on to be one of the co-founders of Servios, James Iliff.
Yes.
Iliff.
Yes, James is a cool guy. Really cool guy.
Yeah.
So I was there for Fiddlesticks. I was there for a year. Helped get Raw Data ready for early access. Launched it in early access. Got it. Keep jumping just way too early.
That's okay. We're just getting warmed up here. Playing Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy with Josh Minette here on our live stream.
And let's see. I think I was there up to the 0.6 update for early access. And I did get to play a little bit of a sprint vector while they were working on it early on.
Cool.
But then it was still like gray block prototype stuff. It wasn't the fantastic looking game that it is now.
What? Tell us a little bit about the challenges of testing for VR relative to testing a console game.
The first one off the bat would be just the pure time that you can do in it. So, testing a normal game, you can sit down and you can go for your whole 3-4 hours in between breaks and play the game the whole time. In VR, different people have different motion sickness levels.
Of course.
So a game may make you motion sick a lot sooner than others. Being in it will get you sick. Frame rate. Everybody loves to talk about frame rate when it comes to consoles. When it comes to VR, it's hugely, vastly more important.
Of course.
I believe the target frame rate for VR is 90 frames per second.
That is correct.
I remember being in a level on raw data when I hit 4 frames a second, and I just refused to stop playing. I wanted to finish the level, make sure that we didn't break anything progression-wise, and I was starting to make people sick that were watching the preview screen. Physicality of it, just getting tired and worn out, depending on how active the game is. Raw data wasn't too bad early on, and then we added a level, I believe it was called Extermination, that had a bunch of lasers on it, and so you really had to duck and avoid these things more so.
Yep.
And so then that added a whole new layer. We started getting tired a little bit faster because now instead of just going side to side, we're ducking.
Oh,
fiddlesticks.
It's okay. You made it along. You made it further along on that one.
Yeah, I keep noticing. I'll go to check the chat screen for a second, real quick. Right as I get to a jump, that's probably a bad time to do it.
I got chat covered, and in fact, Cast Coder asked, "Guys, you didn't make this game. What are you doing?" And as Justin, who is working the board, aptly noted, we play lots of games. So we are enjoying our friends from Naughty Dog's masterpiece. I was reading recently that when they first started making the Crash games, they only had 10 employees. I know.
That's incredible.
I know.
Those first games were pretty fun.
And Billy Parmenter, shout out. Yes, we are great at testing all the holes. Well done. And hello, Jeremy. Yes, this is a rare backup hosting opportunity. So I am pouncing on it. Very excited to be here. And as we conclude our month of fundraising for St. Jude, let's just dive right into some of the beefier topics of when did you first find out about your diagnosis?
I found out the day before my 30th birthday.
And you are how old now?
I'll be 34 in October.
And how long are you cancer-free for?
Since November of that year. So this November I'll be 4 years cancer-free.
That's awesome.
Roughly a month after the 4 years of being diagnosed. I went through 2 surgeries in the span of 22 days. They took out... The first one was for my appendix. I realized I had appendicitis really early on. I wasn't inflamed really when they pulled it out. So that was lucky. Thank God for appendicitis. Went in for the post-op the day before my birthday, and they just bluntly asked me, like, "Hey, how you feeling? Any pain?" I was like, "No, I'm doing great." And they're like, "Great, because we found cancer. We're going to open you up again." Took out a fifth of my colon, my lymph nodes. Everything came back clean. Luckily, everything came back clean.
Yeah.
The fifth of your colon is the most that they can remove before you need a colostomy bag for your life.
Sure.
So I got lucky in a lot of respects. Lucky that I caught it the way I did. Lucky that it was able to be treated so quickly and easily.
Sure.
And then lucky that I'm still free up to this point. I mean, I go in for periodic check-ins.
Yeah.
So.
How were you able to stay, how did you process that moment when you found out, and how were you able to maintain a positive mindset during treatment?
So, I mean, I was absolutely alone when I found out. I was not expecting the appointment to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was expecting it to just be a normal post-op procedure. You know, hey, how's it going? Yeah,
right.
Sure. You're doing good? Okay. Do you need physical therapy? You know? And so I was devastated, and I went back to my car, and I tried making phone calls, just trying to get friends, family
sure.
on the phone. I needed somebody to talk to. Eventually, I made it home, was able to spend time with friends and family, and I went back to work right away. I just didn't want to take time off.
And where were you at that point?
At that point, I was working for GTL Media, and I was actually on site with 505 Games.
Okay.
Working away on Terraria.
Uh-huh.
And I pretty much worked right up to my next surgery date, and I was in the hospital for a week afterwards, and ordered to stay home from work for another week once I was out of the hospital. And funny enough, Sunset Overdrive released 5 days after I was diagnosed, and so I was playing that a lot. The traversal system was
I don't know if I believe you.
fun.
I don't know if I believe that you played a lot of Sunset. What proof do you have?
After I started working there, I was able to get a high-res asset from the team here.
It's not every day that you see Fizzy tattooed on your arm to prove your devotion to a game. Ebony Logic asks really quickly, where is James? James is at we have a lot of leadership development opportunities inside Insomniac, and today we have a leadership training day in which he is participating.
Forget the boxes.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes.
Just saying like a shout out to like Fergie. He donated $125.
Oh, hey, Fergie.
Fergie, great.
Thank you so much. That's really cool. And today is your last day to donate to the St. Jude charity fund. We should be in the... we've hit our goal of $1,000. We've exceeded it. We're probably about $1,200. I did hear a rumor in talking with Corey that if we get a minimum $50 bid, there might be a possible reboot of the Crispin Glover dance. If anybody really wants to see that. So you'll just have to let me know that if you did donate $50 or more, and you do want to see the Corey Hoover Crispin Glover dance, for those of you who've been following our streams for a while, you'll know that this is one of the more famous or infamous moments of Insomniac Live. We will make that happen again. Or he will make that happen again.
And Fergie, I see what you did there. You waited till I was on stream and couldn't donate to take the top donation spot from me. Doesn't matter. Just kidding. It's all for the kids.
It's all for the kids. So what has been the biggest surprise so far for you testing games at Insomniac?
Testing games at Insomniac. The transparency amongst the company, just the willingness to help people in their careers, the mentorship programs that we have here.
Yep.
It's very much a family atmosphere, which is great. It's definitely been a dream gig. I can't get past this one. I should probably just go to the left.
Go to the left. Go left, young man. I'll give it a go in a bit too. Growing up, did you always know you wanted to get into games, or did you kind of fall into it? Like how did you wind up on this path?
I would say, playing games. I would say every kid is interested in it. There's a point where it becomes like, oh, this might be a real possibility. I would say playing, Doom and like the original DuckTales.
Oh yeah,
were some really fun games, and they helped to be like, yeah, you know what, those are really fun. I want to work on something like that. And now I'm here and I'm working on one of my favorite comic book characters in a game.
Yep.
I couldn't think of a better project to be working on. So it's definitely loving being here. It's been a dream gig.
That's awesome. Well, I guess that answers Zello Jam X's question of how's it going. I think Josh just summed it up. We're both living the dream. I saw somebody ask, who the hell is the guy next to Josh? Justin pointed out, I'm Ryan Schneider. I've been with Insomniac almost 15 years. I help run the community and marketing team. Justin, Corey, James, and Tim, they're all smarter and way better looking than I am. They have way less gray hair than I do, and that's why you see them a heck of a lot more on camera than yours truly. I prefer being behind the scenes, but due to crazy circumstances, with everything going on right now, I am your quadruple or quintuple backup host, and I hope I'm not letting you down too much. So, Josh, Remaster Resistance wants to know if anybody has ever told you you sound like Chris Pratt.
Sound like Chris Pratt? No, that's awesome. Hey, Chris, if you ever want to do some lines, call me. I'll phone it in for you. I saw something there about the new Fallout game. Dude, that sounds like it could be really amazing. From some of the rumors that are floating around online, that it's going to be like an online survival thing. I'm hoping it's kind of like Ark or Rust. That would be a really, really fun Fallout game.
Now, I've been in meetings all day too. Did they follow up their Please Stand By video as something?
They released the back of a vault suit with the number 76 on it.
Oh, nice.
And that's the official title.
Yeah, that's
Fallout
kind of
76.
That is great. I'm assuming that they'll reveal more at their big E3 press conference. Is that the...
Probably.
That
I would assume so.
Well, we'll just try to get Pete on the phone and see what he and Tracy Thompson and Matt Grandstaff tell us. And,
yeah, see if we can get some more info ahead of time and just not tell anybody.
We won't share with anybody, maybe this stream. Who knows? That'll be about it. So if you had to rank your favorite Insomniac games of all time, what would they be?
Ooh. Sunset Overdrive and 1, just because of the time that it came out and what it was able to do for me.
And maybe can you elaborate on that for a bit? Like why? Like it was good timing with Sunset Overdrive, and that's cool. But like, what was it about the game for you that you identified with?
So it was actually hard for me to pay attention to story at the time, so I didn't fully beat the story and pay attention to it until I started working here and I nuked my save and started over. Here, take the sticks for a sec.
Okay.
And the main thing, the traversal system was great and fantastic. Grinding around on the rails, either on your feet, using a crowbar to go underneath, on like the telephone wires and electrical wires. Jumping around on it, the air dash, all of the traversal was fun. The most important thing for me was essentially the OD looked like what I pictured the cancer tumor would look like. So I was jumping around, grinding, killing cancer. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna beat you. And so like that really helped me to stay positive and have a more happy outlook on it. Even though what I went through was relatively short, it helped a vast amount.
So you're saying that just being able to visualize that cancer and like physically eliminate it, it made a big difference for you psychologically speaking.
Yeah. Yes, it really did. Shortly after I was playing that, and I started killing the OD, and they were looking like cancer. I'm like,
Did you notice that I don't remember the exact terminology, but like did your T cells decrease like pretty quick? Like did you notice like some immediate improvements?
Actually, I don't know, because like we didn't really run a whole lot of those tests that I'm aware of or that I was given the results for.
Got it.
Just because it was like, okay, we're gonna do another surgery and we're gonna remove this stuff, and then we'll go from there.
Hi Tana, how are you doing, girl?
So really, it was. The most that I had was, they give you the prep stuff to do before the surgeries. Mm-hmm. And then calling me and going, hey, we forgot to get an MRI. You need to stop taking the stuff that's making you use the bathroom uncontrollably,
right,
and come to the hospital to do your MRI. And it's like, dude, you're kind of doing this backwards.
One more shot. I knocked my shoes off. All right, so just to reiterate, everybody, I'm Ryan Schneider, quintuple backup host. This is still Insomniac Live, despite us not being here. I'm joined by Josh Manette, who is our QA superstar, cancer survivor, perfect guest for us to wrap up our St. Jude fundraiser, and we are well over $1,200 now. Looking for more donations to finish strong. If you donate $50 or more, We might be able to talk Corey into the Crispin Glover dance. Oh, I didn't see that whole.
We'll talk him into it. Fergie donated at 125.
Yep.
We'll talk. We'll get Corey to do it.
Yeah, this is true. Let's see. Oh my! Whoa! Did I see Scarfield says "Sweet Baby Jesus" over $500, Fergie? Yes.
Fergie for the entire during the
That's
entire
still
month.
amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We so appreciate what you were doing. So were you more of a single player Sunset Overdrive player, or did you get more into like the multiplayer side or Chaos Squad?
I actually haven't played any of the multiplayer Chaos Squad yet.
Still time.
Still time. It's still. I mean, the servers are still active. I've been trying to find a few people that I know to try and get a game going. Outside of that, I'm probably gonna put up a thing on our Discord channel and the general gaming saying, "Hey, I'm gonna jump in. Anybody want to get some Chaos Squad going?"
And for those of you who don't know, we have got a great Discord community. Hopefully you can join us there. A lot of us are active on there. Obviously, you know our Twitter handle. It should be at the bottom of the screen. You know we're occasionally on Facebook, but you can really find us on Twitter and Discord the most. Let's see. We've got... Jeremy Ricci asked me, so we know that Josh holds Sunset Overdrive in a special place. Are there any games that you hold dear, Ryan? That's a tough question. Ratchet and Clank will always hold, the original will always hold a very special place. Before I was at Insomniac, I did the original PR work for that game when I was at an entertainment marketing agency. I remember meeting Ted for the first time in a hotel room at the Universal Sheraton, where we were showing press the game, and he's just such a great guy, such a nice guy. And I had, I'd played Crash, played Spyro, and grown up playing platform games just like all of us. But I hadn't. Ratchet and Clank was just so funny, and I loved the weapons and gadgets that it resonated with me, and it really. It started my career in games in such a special way, and eventually Ted found an opportunity to bring me over to Insomniac, where I worked on Up Your Arsenal as my first game in-house, and it all started just by having the great chance opportunity to help launch Ratchet and Clank when it first came out. So that was my first real love affair with Insomniac, was that one. I didn't even know anything about Insomniac, when I would pick up Spyro occasionally at like a relative's house or something like that.
There we go. Old X.
Zello Jamp says Ratchet and Clank 3 is his childhood game. That makes me feel incredibly old. At the same time, super stoked that it is your favorite childhood game. It is a great childhood game to have. My favorite part of Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal is the Quark side-scroller quests. I had to take a lot of screenshots for those over that first year of game development. Definitely holds a place in my heart. So let's keep that chat going, though. What is the Insomniac game that holds a special place in your heart? Let's see. We'll see what the chat says.
Bad timing.
Bad timing indeed. Now, did you grow up a Crash Bandicoot fan?
Yeah. I played Crash Bandicoot back in the day. I played Ratchet. I played Spyro back in the day. Those were the three big ones that I played.
What was if you had like the Hall of Fame, like growing up, like if you were stuck on a desert island, the three games you would have taken with you as a kid, what would they have been?
Ooh. 3 games I would have taken with me as a kid. I need to remember how to get past you. Sega CD's Lethal Enforcers?
Wow, you're going way back, okay.
Yeah, that was a great arcade game, and Sega CD was a great chance for them to bring it into the home. Growing up, so Lethal Enforcers, probably Doom and Spyro.
Well, speaking of Doom, Northern Star Dragon said, "Hey Ryan, ever think what Up Your Arsenal would look like in the original Doom games?" Well, there's an actual gameplay mod for it. That's insane. I would love to see that.
I want to see that.
Yeah, that sounds really, really cool. So far, what we're seeing on favorite games, Resistance, R2, R3, of course from Remaster Resistance, shocker. Hello Pepper says Sunset Dreams Shattered, but he's talking about Sunset 2. Ebony Logic calls out GTA. Alas, we did not make GTA. And Zello Jam says, if I was stuck on an island, my 3 games are Ratchet & Clank 1, Ratchet & Clank 3, and Banjo-Tooie. Northern Star, you're asking if he would be alright if he links the mod. I personally don't have any issue with that. Justin, you good if he links the mod?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thumbs up from Justin. Go for it. So you gave us one of your Desert Island games, the Sega CD game. What was your others?
Doom and Spyro.
And Spyro. Okay.
Although they make a good point with GTA, but I would say the original GTAs when it was top down and there was almost no story to it.
Right.
Those were some really fun games.
Do you think there's too much story now?
No, I actually like the change to the 3D versions and more story driven.
Yeah.
But there was just something about those sandboxy earlier ones that were pretty fun.
Yeah.
And I missed enough for that.
So let's go back to. I want to go back to talking about cancer, if you're okay with that. Like,
yeah.
What have you? You've been clean for diagnosed free for almost 4 years. How have you? What kind of message have you been spreading to other people who either are suffering from cancer or have you joined communities of fellow survivors? Like, how is it a part of your life now?
I've joined some communities. I've been in talks with one of my friends. His mom, I believe, works at a children's hospital, and we're talking about ways that we can bring video games in. I'm trying to see about starting. I want to start some kind of a thing where just bringing consoles and games to children's hospitals and giving them some kind of an escape. Because especially when you're at the hospital, there's just nothing to do and nothing to get away from it. I am a part of a few communities, met a few survivors. Really, the most thing that I say, and I put up tweets about it occasionally and post on my Facebook, and it'll just get checked out.
Yeah.
If you're a guy, if you're a girl, check out your appropriate stuff. Have those tests done when you need them, but pay attention to your body.
Right.
Your body will tell you lots of things that you need to know. Being a former athlete, I was very in tune with my body growing up, which was how I noticed my appendicitis really early on.
What kind of sports did you play?
I played baseball and football.
Okay.
I was predominantly a baseball player, but I started playing football in high school, and I did both of them while I was in high school.
Well, right now you need to be a boulder runner.
Yeah, right now I need to be Indiana Jones. And so, pay attention to your body. Pay attention to things like, oh, I'm really, really tired a lot. If it's not because, you work in video games and you're putting in a lot of hours, that may be a sign. Pay attention to when you go to the bathroom. For me, I was probably suffering from it for close to a year maybe beforehand. Now that I look at it, I was tired. I had a lot of liquidy bowel movements.
Right.
Trying to figure out the nicest way to say these things, but
this is this is a serious topic. Just to reset for those of you who are just joining, real quick. T Dunlap 55, thank you for the follow. So I'm Ryan Schneider, Chief Brand Officer at Insomniac Games. I'm here with Josh Minette, QA from Insomniac. This is the final stream as part of the St. Jude Cancer fundraiser that we've been participating in. We're playing Crash Bandicoot, Insanity Trilogy remastered from our friends at Naughty Dog. We wanted Josh to wrap things up with us and tell his story about surviving cancer. And right now we're talking about ways that you can test yourself potentially and save your own life. And Josh had a history of an athletic background. Sounds like you probably could have self-diagnosed sooner, but you also knew your body well enough to be able to know there was a problem.
I woke up one morning, or one afternoon, because I slept in that day. I woke up, sat up in bed, and was like, oh, I think I have appendicitis. I mean, I gave it an hour because I knew the symptoms and I knew that, okay, well, you could just be constipated. No, wasn't. I still had no urge to use the bathroom, no urge to eat. The pain in the right area, and went to the hospital, and they're like, yeah, you have appendicitis. We're going to open you up. You know, like I said before, they took it out, and during the post-op, they said that I was barely starting to be inflamed, so I caught it really early on.
That's great.
And if it hadn't been for the appendicitis, we wouldn't have caught the cancer because it was in the appendix.
Right. That's crazy. And full disclosure, my dad has cancer. He's suffering right now. He's in very early stages, but we're at a very similar stage of like getting all the right treatment. And so this is this is a topic that has probably affected everybody in some way who's participating in the stream. And that's why it's personally important that I had the opportunity to be the quintuple backup host today and was able to jump on that. This is a topic that it's just such a scourge, and we're grateful that we're able to be so lucky, and we're grateful that my dad was diagnosed so early as well.
Hope your dad does well.
Oh yeah, he's doing great right now. It's very early stages.
What form?
He has a form of bone marrow cancer. Ooh. Yeah. So you can still donate to the St. Jude. To our fundraiser. We're well over $1,200 right now. The link has been posted by Justin, who is running the boards. So hopefully you can do that. Anastasia 2458 mentions that Anastasia lost somebody from cancer. Our condolences for that. It's just such a tragic and awful thing. But fortunately here we're using games to come together and do some good, raise some money, and send it to people who are really helping make this world a better place. So that's fantastic.
It's really, really great that St. Jude's was started with the whole premise of we're going to help treat these kids, and these families don't have to pay anything, not just for the treatments, housing the families down there.
Yep.
Because it's important to have your family around when you're going through stuff like that. So it's a very worthwhile cause.
And do you have siblings?
I do not. I'm an only child. Have cousins close in age.
Okay.
So I've spent a lot of time growing up with them
Got it.
Because I didn't have a brother or sister.
Right. And growing up, were games always a part of your life, or did you discover games at later in childhood, or?
Games were pretty much always a part of my life. I remember taking over my dad's NES because it was my dad's. He bought it. Yeah, I remember the first time I saw an NES, I was watching my dad and my uncle Skip play the golf on the original NES.
Okay.
Just golf, not Nintendo's golf. It was just golf.
Just plain golf, pre-licensing. I worked on Hot Shot Golf. Did some marketing and PR work for that on. I think that was PS2 back in the day. Hot Shots Golf.
I like that arcade
The original
style.
Hot Shots Golf. Yep. Real quick, thank you, C1076. We've got a new follower. Huzzah. Appreciate that. Yeah, so you're saying golf?
I remember watching my dad, my uncles playing golf, and I appropriated the NES from my dad.
As any good kid should. And where did you grow up?
I grew up here in the valley.
Okay.
Over in Silmar. So I've spent most of my life in the valley outside of my time in school up in Santa Cruz.
Cool.
Games were always a factor, and what was funny too is on the rare times that I did get free time to just sit at home and play video games, I would eventually be told I needed to go outside and play and do something else, which I always found kind of odd considering I was in Boy Scouts and Little League, so I was constantly outside doing stuff for those things.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, I have a free spare moment. How the heck do I beat this guy?
I don't know, but I have an important question for you. Who's got better butt crack, PAPU or the plumber in Ratchet and Clank?
Ooh.
That's a tough one. Chat, that's for you too. More pronounced bud crack, Papu Papu or Plumber from Ratchet and Clank?
These are the serious questions.
These are the hard-hitting questions of Insomniac Live, and this is what you get when you have a quintuple backup host leading the charge.
Hit the backup one?
So Ratchet and Clank 42069 says Plumber. Let's see who else comes in there. I'm going with Papu Papu.
Papu Papu.
Papu Papu's got a pretty pronounced butt crack here.
It's very sizable.
Virtual Me, Metamorph agrees. Northern Star Dragon goes Plumber. Papu Papu has a more endearing belly button though.
Yeah, for sure.
Amazing Spider-Man chimes in with Plumber. So this is a tough question to answer. I know. Remaster Resistance comes in with that. He'd say Papu Papu. Justin, where do you go in?
I'm going Papu Papu.
All right, Justin's Papu Papu.
I think I saw in there Ratchet and Clank 42069 said that their aunt was just diagnosed with breast cancer. Sorry to hear that. Weirdly enough, there was a point when I was in college where I was worried I might have breast cancer. One of the 2% of men that get it. I did have a tumor removed from there.
Wow.
It was benign, and this was 19, so 11 years before I got diagnosed with the cancer I did have.
Wow.
I went through that. So, yeah, oddly enough, I know what it's like to have a tumor and be like, what's that? Up in that area. Sorry to hear about your aunt. I believe my aunt on my dad's side and one of my grandmas had breast cancer as well. My aunt, I think, is in the clear now finally.
Yeah. Well, it's just so important to get checked out early. I mean, I've definitely lost friends, well before 30 from
she was
things like melanoma.
In 2017 and she beat it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's
awesome.
great.
Sorry, I read that wrong. Glad to hear she's doing good.
Yeah. No, that's great. All right, now you're on the right track here, Josh. All right, let me take a shot here at this.
Aim for his crack.
That seems like words to live by. That was fast. Words to live by on Insomniac Live. Aim for his crack. I get. Is that? Should we say that that's? Wait for it. A crack in time.
It very well could be.
Low level humor here, folks. That's. It's just. This is definitely the award-winning broadcast. Insomniac Live coming your way. By the way, the award-winning broadcast is going to be a little bit short today due to so many things going on inside the studio. And if you have any questions in the next, let's say, 10 minutes or so, you should get to asking those. We're going to hit about the 45-minute mark, and we are going to be on our way. But Josh and I thank you sincerely for joining us.
Yes, it's definitely been a pleasure being on this side. Usually I'm chatting along with you guys.
Oh, that was bad news on my part. That was a noobish level of poor playing right there. I deserve to give up the sticks on that one. Let's see. Oh, Dreams. We're talking about it. Dreams is the game from the guys who made Journey, right?
They got a new one?
I think so.
Those are the same guys that did Flower too, right?
Yes.
Those were some fun games.
Yeah, we've got some friends at the studio who are working there. Fergie, let's see if we can. That's really nice that you would even offer to donate the last 50. Oh, Dreams is Media Molecule. Whoops. Maybe somebody else will step up. Fergie, you've been phenomenal and fantastic with everything you've been doing. We'll see. Crispin Glover-like Corey dance waits in the wings, though. Northern Star Dragon asks how the Burbank weather is. It actually rained, if you can believe that. It rained in Southern California, and it's a little cool and muggy out. But
it's weird when it rains here. Like, so I left my house and it was barely sprinkling. So I'm driving along and I got the window down. I got my elbow out the window. just cruising. I get off the freeway over here, and it's pouring. Like, it doesn't start pouring until I'm on the off-ramp. Like, we get weird weather here in California. When it rains, it's not raining everywhere.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's weird. It's only weird because it never, ever rains here, right? It's like, that's what's weird.
Very rarely,
and then yesterday,
it's pretty much beach weather all the time.
And like yesterday, it's like we're dealing with brush fires, and then last week there was a brush fire in Burbank.
Yeah, so it was weird. Go to the kitchen, just see the hillside on fire. Oh, smoke. A little bit of flames every once in a while.
Virtual Metamorph are you excited for the Medieval remaster? Is that Medieval the PS2 game? And if so, then or a PS1? It was a PS1 game, I think. I think I did some work. If there was the PS2, I know I worked on one of them, and I did some work on it. I just don't remember if it was for the PS1 or PS2. And yes, Ratchet and Clank. Wow, you are up late, by the way, Ratchet and Clank 42069. I see what you did there with that number. Medieval was PS1. There you go. So yes, I did a little bit of work on it when it. That was early 2000s, I think. Let's see. That game was a blast to the past for me. Did you pass it?
Yeah.
All right.
I finally beat him.
Thank you. All right. Moving forward, Aku here is very happy. That was a good moment for us. Oh, okay, 10:41, not too late. Any final questions over the next couple minutes before we call it an abbreviated stream today? We'll see.
You know what? Let's go to
anything you want to add?
Just thanks for having me on the stream. It's been a pleasure. Been a pleasure to be a part of the St. Jude's collaboration, both watching through chat and donating and being on the stream itself. Our community is one of the nicest and greatest communities I think I've been a part of. I decided to go out, and instead of doing the normal levels, we're going to go ahead and load in the special level that was added to the remaster. This was a cut level.
Oh, cool.
It was cut for a reason.
What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was so hard.
Well, just because we've been tearing up gameplay
we've been so great.
Let's go to
the easy levels. Let's go to the impossible.
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
Oh, Twisted Metal. Yes.
Twisted Metal.
Yes, that's such a classic. Such a classic. Wait, Fergie, did you spend the $50? I mean, you spent $125. If you want Corey to dance like Crispin Glover, as far as I'm concerned, so it is said. So shall it be done.
Ah. All right.
What was while you're wrapping this up? What was the most humorous bug you have encountered in any game except Spider-Man? Since we can't talk about that right now, in all of your years of QA testing, like what's the standout bug that made you laugh out loud the hardest?
I've had a couple that I can't say on this stream.
Because it's a T-rated stream.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel you.
There were a couple of them where it's just like, wow, this is supposed to be an E for all game. What the heck is that doing in there?
Where people were sneaking things into the game?
People just didn't realize they needed to change some art, which was interesting because it was a game that was coming from China, which was more strict in that sense on this violation.
Got it.
So it was weird that the art even needed to be changed. I personally liked when I was working at 2K Games, I had the vice president of QA come over to my desk to take a look at a bug that I had just written up. I found some beer taps in a couple of the stadiums on MLB 2K9.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, pause the game, go into a replay camera. I spotted it when I hit a home run, but I used the replay camera to verify it.
Oh, cool.
And, they just took a picture of the concession stands and didn't remove the beer taps. And that technically would have violated our E for all rating.
Oh, wow.
Because you can't have beer.
That would have been a very expensive mistake.
Yep. That one was fun.
Real quick, Jeremy Ricci asks, do you have a favorite E3 memory.
Ooh, favorite E3 memory. Seeing the Spider-Man one last year with the full-size helicopter and Spider-Man on it was freaking amazing.
Yep.
Aliens Colonial Marines had a power loader that you could get into and take a picture of, and it had a xenomorph attacking it. That's a pretty fun picture. I still have that picture.
That's cool.
Disney, one of their final years that they had a booth and that they were doing swag giveaways, they gave away Oswald ears that they would
I do remember that.
Those were awesome.
I do remember that.
Epic Mickey too?
Yes, I remember that. James is a giant Disney fan, and I remember he was all about
I'm not
waiting
at all.
in line. Yeah.
Not
yes.
at all.
Well, if my near 3-year-old daughter came in, she would be screaming right now for Ariel. That is her favorite princess.
I was actually blasting a Disney CD on my way in today. I think when I got out of the car, it was the middle of Part of Your World.
I can probably sing Part of Your World, at least part of it, pretty well off memory because of my daughter. Let's see. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. That'd have to be a much bigger donation for the St. Jude Fund.
Well, I mean, it starts with maybe he's right. Maybe there is something the matter with me.
Yes. Well, see, the part that I know is I've got gadgets and gizmos and thingamabobs. No big deal. I want more. Something like that. Right?
Yeah, that part would. Let's see.
Now we're singing. Things have gone way off the rails. We're singing Disney tunes now.
I've got who's its and was its galore.
You've got thingamabobs?
No, you want
I got 20.
You want
I got 20.
I got 20. But who cares?
No big deal. I want more. There you go. I mean, I kind of feel like we're not. That's going to be the moment of the show right there.
Probably.
I think that is just the. That might be the perfect point to sound off and say thank you guys for joining us today. Fergie, we will make sure that Corey does the dance. Thank you for your donation. Mr. Zombly, thank you for the follow. Virtual Metamorph, thank you for the follow. Remaster Resistance, my God, that was angelic. I'm Ryan Schneider, Chief Brand Officer, and your backup host. Josh Minette is our leading man, singing Disney extraordinaire. It's been our pleasure, and you will have your regularly scheduled hosts coming soon. And thanks for tuning in today and putting up with us. Take